Hello, I am Dragoș, and in this video I will show you how you can install EasyEngine on a DigitalOcean droplet so you can host your WordPress site securely and easily. EasyEngine is a module that you install on your server, and behind the scene it will handle everything that is needed to have your site hosted. EasyEngine it uses Docker to create the services behind the scenes. So let's start with the installation. First, you will need a DigitalOcean account. I already have one. I'm using DigitalOcean for several years to host my sites and do my projects. First, we'll need to create the droplet where EasyEngine will be installed. You go to create, we choose the Ubuntu version, and we're using the 18.04, the LTS one. We choose the droplet size, data center, and we give it a name. And we hit create. After, we just wait for the droplet creation to finish. At the end, DigitalOcean should send us the email with the user IP and the password so we can access the server. To access the server, we'll use a tool called putty. This is a terminal that will help us connect to our server. It looks like the droplet is created, and next we will start putty and connect to the server and start the install. I'm starting putty just now. Our server, it will have an IP address that we can use to connect. Let me check the email to see. Okay. We use the user root. We take the password that was provided by DigitalOcean. At first login, we will be prompted to change the password. We insert again the current password. We create a new password. And now we're connected to the server. The first thing to do is to update our server so we can have the latest packages. We'll run the commands to do that. Just need to wait. Now the second command. Now the server will take the latest packages and apply them. We just need to wait for the process to finish. It can take a couple of minutes until everything is updated on the server. I will just hit OK. Okay, the server is now updated. The next step will be to restart it. We do that with the command reboot. Now just wait for a couple of seconds until the server is rebooted and takes the new packages, and after we can proceed with the EasyEngine installation. Let's see if I can log in. Yes, I can log in again. Okay, I will try to change the fonts because they are quite small. Okay, I've changed the font so you can better see what is happening here. Next, we will need to add some swap to Ubuntu because by default swap is not added. As you can see here, there is no swap added in the system, and in case we will run out of RAM, we need to have the swap so the processes can go there. There is an article that can be used to have the swap added. It is on DigitalOcean. There are some commands that we need to run. So let's run the commands. I'll go to the var directory first. Here I will create a swap file. I will change the permissions. Afterwards, I create the actual file with the 1 GB in size. Now it's created. I will make it as a swap file. And afterwards I will attach it as a swap to the system with swap 1. For the swap to be persistent after the system is rebooted, we need to run the following command, which is adding this file in the fs tab. If we now check, we will see that we have swap configure on the system, as you can see here. Okay, for For my servers, I usually like to have the application installed directly under root user to don't have problems with permission and stuff like that. So I will use the root user to have the EasyEngine set up. Next, we need to run the commands and have the EasyEngine configured and installed in our system. If we go to the site, to the EasyEngine site, we take the command and run it on our server. Right now, the command will install EasyEngine on our system so we can configure our first site. We just need to wait for everything to finish until we proceed next. I will pause this video, I think. Oh no, let's wait because I see the process is quite fast. So we can just wait for 1 or 2 minutes and it should finish. Everything is configured. Now the database is created, the nginx proxy, and soon the installation will finish. EasyEngine finished with the installation, and now to see if it's working, we just run help to see if we get the commands. Okay, it looks like it is working. Next, we need to go and have our site added to EasyEngine. To do that, we will need to have a domain name. I already have a couple of domains. I'm using Namecheap to host my domains. EasyEngine is not doing DNS administration, so we will need to use DigitalOcean DNS for that. So after we buy our domain, we go into the DNS into the manage zone here, and we need to change our name servers to the DigitalOcean so we can configure there the DNS records. I already have set the name servers to DigitalOcean for this domain, occasionlooks.com. When you are doing this, usually it can take up to 24 hours for the configurations to be alive. Next, after we have the name server set, we need to go into DigitalOcean, and here we have in the left networking, and here we have a tab called domains. If I will delete my already added domain and we'll add it again just so you can see all the configurations you need to make. So after the domain has the DigitalOcean name servers, we add the domain here, add domain. So DigitalOcean added some basic records. Next we need to point the domain to the VPS, the droplet that we have. So we hit enter this and we select our droplet from the list. We let the TLS as it is. We create it like this. Right now the A record for the domain, it is pointing to our newly created droplet where we have EasyEngine installed. Next we need to also make a CNAME record. This will be needed when we add the Let's Encrypt SSL on our server, EasyEngine server. Here we put the domain name and we hit create record. Right now we have the domain name that is pointing to DigitalOcean. We have in DigitalOcean configured the domain that it's pointing to our droplet. We have the CNAME created. And next we need to go and add the actual domain on the server. To do this we need to run a command. Sorry, let's go back here because I already have it. Okay, here is the command. Start with start with after with site create. Here you have the name for the site, the domain name. It will be a WordPress installation. It will have cache. This is the email address for the Let's Encrypt, and with this we'll tell it to use SSL from Let's Encrypt. So at the end we should have a WordPress site. Let's check now to see that is nothing there. Hosted. Okay, the site can be reached. Hosted on EasyEngine. Next, let's copy this command. Let's go to the putty and hit the creation. Now the site creation will start and EasyEngine will add behind the scene everything that is needed to have our site hosted in WordPress with cache and Let's Encrypt SSL. Let's wait for a couple of minutes until this finishes. Okay, at the end EasyEngine will provide us all the details needed to access the WordPress installation. Here it is. I will copy it separately so to have it in case I will need it. Let's go and see if the site was created. Okay, I had a problem with my clock. It was not showing the correct date and time, and that's why I couldn't properly see the SSL. I've changed the clock to the correct region, and now when I try to access the created site, it is working. Next, we can log into the admin area with the username and password that were created. We take the password. And here we have the WordPress installation. With EasyEngine we can install multiple domain names on the same server. If we go and check the server, we will see that the server is barely loaded. We have a lot of CPU that it's idled. The memory that is used is not that much, so a small droplet like this one can host multiple sites easily. If we need to check and see what's happened behind the scene, we go and run docker stats and we'll see exactly what EasyEngine created for us. So as you can see here, there is 7 droplets where where 3 are for our site, and the rest are generic ones that will be used for all the sites. If you check here the memory and everything, you'll see that not a lot of memory it is used. In case we will need to add a new site, we do the same. We go into Namecheap, we register our domain, change the DNS, we go to DigitalOcean and we add it here with a record or CNAME. For this video I will just create a subdomain for our existing site so you can see how this is working. So we'll create, let's say, UP those subdomain pointing to occasion look. Okay, we have the CNAME now, and next we'll need to we should create an e-record, not a CNAME. We put here the UP-DOS, check the server and hit create. We need an a-record with the subdomain to be able to have a subdomain hosted. Now we'll copy the name, and we will use the previous command to create a new site. We'll just need to modify here the new name and hit enter, and now EasyEngine will create for us the new site, in this case the test site, test domain updos. Let's wait for this to finish. Okay, EasyEngine finished creating our new site. We have the informations as for the previous one. Let's go and see what happened, if it was created. As you can see, our second site, it is live and it is working. Let's go to the server and check the resources. Not a lot has changed here, so even with two sites, of course with no traffic, still the utilization it is good. If you go to Docker, you will see that we'll have some extra containers having our new subdomain in them. Next, let's check and see how fast is the new site. To do that, I will use pingdom.com. It will help us measure our site speed. Just put here the last site. Let's do it from San Francisco. Let's start the test. So, as you can see here, a blank site. It is loading very fast. It is in only under 1 second. Of course, the site it's blank. It's not having a lot of information, so it's normal. But still, EasyEngine will help us have very speedy sites. Also, EasyEngine will handle the SSL renewal. letsencrypt needs for the SSL to be refreshed every 3 months, and EasyEngine will do that for us behind the scene, so we'll don't need to do anything. Related to emails, EasyEngine it is having postfix, so it can send emails from the server, but you cannot actually create an email address for your domain. This is the tutorial. This is how you can use EasyEngine to host your site quickly, securely, and with good performance. Have a nice day.